Hi everyone, thank you so very much for joining me today and welcome to the second episode of the Moon Tarot Talk. Here I am, Ksenia, with your full moon report in Pisces for the 1st or 2nd of September 2020, depending on where you are in the world. What a blessed moon! And before we begin, I would like to send so much blessings back to all of you who left lovely comments under my previous video. It inspired me a lot. I was so moved and touched, and it was such a gift from God to meet all of you and to read all the lovely comments. And this served as such a massive source of inspiration and support for me in what I'm doing in my everyday life. It really was amazing, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for being you. And with this video, I hope to pay back. I hope that it will be useful, that it will help you to cope with the energies of the full moon in Pisces, to explore them in a more fruitful way, in a more potentially beneficial way. And yeah, let's dive in and see what this moon is about. So last time we talked about the new moon, that it is time of the complete darkness, the time when you're sowing your intentions, you're releasing your plans to the universe. And I very much hope that for many of you, this full moon in Pisces would be actually the time of seeing those sows bringing some visible and tangible fruit. This can also be true, like it happens to me sometimes. So full moon, it is visible, it is bright in the sky. Nights are no longer dark because they're all imbued in the moonlight, and it is time of culmination, of peak. It is the time where our emotions are heightened, when our inspiration, our intuition is at its best. But the full moon is not only about culminating things, it is also the phase when, it is also the moment when the moon is entering its waning phase. And the waning phase is never actually good to do something related to growth. In Russia, we have those superstitions, which I, for example, follow. I'm not speaking for all the people, that it is a bad kind of superstition to cut your hair in the phase of the waning moon, because it's believed that they will not grow back fast enough. And same, for example, there is agricultural calendar which prohibits sowing certain types of plants under the waning moon, because then it is believed that the plants will not grow fast enough. So please do not plan anything under this full moon, but on the contrary, think of what you'd like to release, to forgive, to declutter. Because the full moon, with its waning, gentle energy of low tide, it has the potential of taking away all our fears, bad habits, of helping us to forgive and to ease our relationship with other people, and to basically soften the edges. So if you feel inclined to it, write a list of what you'd like to let go of. And every full moon is very good for it, but especially full moon in Pisces. And why is it so? So it is because, as we know, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and the full moon in Pisces actually manifests the end of the full moon cycle, which started in October 2019 with the full moon in Aries. So what we can do is that we can look back and we can see what happened to us between October 2019 and October 2020, maybe September 2020, and to think what wasn't working, which relationship are no longer serving us, what is something that we need to release, to let go. Maybe it's also a good time actually to declutter your house, to bring all those old clothes to charity shop, and to clear the space, both mentally and physically, to clear your memory palace, your mental palace, and the house in which you're living. Because in October we'll be celebrating the full moon in Aries, which again will start the full moon cycle anew. And another good factor for us to be doing this, to be releasing and letting go of, is that the full moon in Pisces obviously activates the Virgo Pisces axis, So at this full moon, Sun is at 10 degrees Virgo and Moon is at 10 degrees Pisces. What is Virgo about? Virgo is about our physical body. Virgo is about our physical health. And what is Pisces about? Pisces is about our emotions, our mental states, yeah. And I think those two signs and this full moon, it actually invites us to reconsider what is beneficial for our physical health and what can be done to benefit our mental health. And in this way, we are balancing the body and the mind in a healthy, in a stable, in a serving us good way. And yeah, and this is like a general rehearsal before Mars hits retrograde. And I'm sure that absolutely all of you know about this. This has been broadcast from every iron for the past months, I'd say, or even more. Difficult Mars retrograde with square aspect to the good old company in Capricorn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. What is Mars? Mars is warrior, yeah? It's in Roman mythology, it's the god of war, it's a god of martial art, of warfare, of manhood, it's the archetype of a man, like, you know, especially in the traditional society, when being a man means being a warrior. And it's all about moving forward. It's about conquering, yeah? Conquering new lands, conquering new people, starting a war against things. So it's all about movement. It's such an active, fiery energy that we're getting from Mars. And when it's going retrograde, what is retrograde? It's about looking inside, introspecting, slowing down, calming down, and maybe, speaking of Mars, going back to very much dirty, bloody, and not really pretty places. Does Mars is a wound. Obviously in astrology I know that Pluto is the wound, it's the karmic wound and the way to heal it. But Mars as well. Mars is our aggressive, conflictual sides of our personality. And with retrograde, we are actually offered the chance to slow down, to calm down, to not be planning anything, but to look inside and try to heal all those wounds probably inflicted by past conflicts, by our own mistakes, by our own lower manifestations of Mars, by us being arrogant, aggressive, and so on. And before this retrograde happens, which will stay with us till the end of the year, and probably actually just, I don't know, bring us through the shredder and basically decompose us and then recompose again. The universe is sending us a gift, I suppose, because the full moon in Pisces, it is this rehearsal before the war. It's like, you know, you've been watching probably in many movies that there is this camp of warriors preparing for a big battle the day tomorrow. How quiet it is. They are all in their tents, preparing for this, like polishing their weapons, thinking about the strategy, thinking about they might probably die tomorrow, you know. So going through this deep process of spiritual consolation and of spiritual kind of process of getting ready to what's in store for you, in this total calmness and this total peace and stillness. And that's what Pisces moon is about. It is like our general rehearsal for us. The universe is telling us, guys, slow down and heal before a very intense process with Mars retrograde starts. In this regard, we are running a special now with Ksenia at her website. So 45-minute reading with me is about 80 Australian dollars now. I believe it is something like 50 euro. So it's a special price for the Mars retrograde season. And please get on board if this is something that might be useful for you. I would be very, very much privileged and honored to explore the tarot cards with you. We can look at what is blocking you, at what needs to be cleansed before the Mars retrograde, how to cope with the upheavals of 2020, how to do the shadow work. So what needs to be done. Cards are actually, they're such amazing friends and psychologists and everything. They might give you a better advice than any of your friends or any of the consultants, as much as I know from my personal experience. So if this is something you'd like to do, please, you're more than welcome. I will be very happy to do a reading for you. And in case you need support for the full moon in Pisces, I would be delighted. And okay, so what is Pisces energy about? What is in it for us? As any zodiac sign, Pisces has a lower manifestation and a high manifestation. And the high manifestation is the most beautiful energy you can imagine. Well, my natal moon is in Pisces. I feel very comfortable in this energy. It is dreamy, it is intuitive, it is very creative. It is also very healing, empathic. It's about seeking the truth. It's about unveiling the hidden, covered mysteries of the universe and of the soul of a human being. The thing that comes in mind for me is, like, those documentaries about how people are exploring the oceans. They go into the submarine across the different levels of the ocean, and then you reach the first level when the sunlight is still present, and you see all those colorful fish and all those coral reefs and seaweed, and it's all glowing, glimmering and glittering. And then you go down and down and down, and then you see more dangerous creatures, the ones that live closer to the bottom, and they're like some fantastic, absolutely fantastic beasts, they're like really look like some products of human imagination, if I may say so. All those, like, fish with lots of teeth, all those predators, very scary, very unusual forms and shapes. And then you go down and down and down, and you hit the bottom. And the bottom is so deep down that there is no food there, and there is not a single trace of life, maybe only some very, very simple forms of life, like, I don't know, one cell organisms and so on. And this is pretty much the journey of our soul when we go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, until we reach shunyata, shunyata, the Buddhist emptiness, the emptiness, the total stillness, which yogi reaches in the state of samadhi. And those are all the very high and very full of potential manifestation of Pisces, which we are here to explore. It just kind of came to my mind in the Indian epic of Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna is actually having the conversation with Lord Krishna before the battle. Here is again like our battle metaphor, that Lord Krishna is telling him that a spiritual seeker should go inside as the tortoise, the turtle, who is going inside, taking all its limbs inside and just closing within its shell. So this is what the full moon in Pisces is about. And the kind of caution that the full moon Pisces is telling us is to be aware of the lower manifestation of Pisces. And because what are those? It's about being totally head in the clouds, illusional, irrational, not seeing the truth at all, but living in this, like, realm of shadows and dreams and thought concepts and thought forms. So this is something to be aware of, because when we are going deep down, this still needs to be constructive. Here is Virgo coming to help us with its earthly, very rational, very disciplined energy, so that we can balance the seeking of truth within us, with at the same time staying connected, fully present in the moment, and being aware of all the pitfalls which Pisces moon has for us. If we think of archetypes and myths that the universe is probably offering us to explore under this full moon in Pisces, as the last time we were looking at the Leo card, the strengths card in tarot. So in tarot, the Pisces card is the moon. I hope you can see it. Is it a good card to get in the reading? Usually no, it's not. Because in tarot, actually, I think the tarot system is more focused on the lower manifestations of Pisces. So we see here, there is the full moon, there are two towers which symbolize the entrance, the threshold, the liminal area before we enter the subconscious, the unknown. There is the wolf and the dog howling, and there is a little crab, which represents our emotional subconscious side of our personality, which is only emerging from the dark waters. What is this card about? This card is about living in illusions, having mental blockages, having uncertainty. Probably a very good phrase from the scripture about this card is like Apostle Paul, when he was saying that we are like looking through the dim glass, that we don't see clearly We are looking through the dim glass. That's what this card is about. Do I agree with this? No, not really. I think Pisces are much more beautiful and multifaceted and much more varied concept than this. But the tarot card here and the iconography of the tarot card actually serves us here as a precaution of when we are walking in water, in darkness. We are not seeing clearly, our feet don't have a solid ground to stand. We might lose our balance, we might fall prey to our own illusions, to our own fears or our own anxieties. Please don't do that. There is nothing to be afraid of. We're fully supported on our journey, always. And in case you're feeling that you're losing it, tap into the Virgo energy, and this will help you to feel the ground under your feet. But when I was thinking about the myths that are here for us and which feature a fish, the first one that came to my mind is the Irish Salmon of Knowledge. If any of the Irish people are listening to me right now, you obviously know the story of Fionn McCool. He was a young apprentice of the poet, and he was once at the bank of the River Boyne because his master told him to catch the salmon of knowledge and by no means to try even this smallest piece of the fish, because this fish is truly magical and brings inspiration to the one who eats its meat. But it happens that the young Fionn is cooking the fish on the pit and he burns his thumb because the fish is too hot, yeah, and he puts it in his mouth, and then suddenly he gets enlightened. Because this magical essence of the fish was transferred to him through the juices of the fish's meat. Sorry. And in general, this legend, it represents only one variant of a very large Celtic, like Irish, idea of the salmon of knowledge. And how it all happens is that in the other world, there is a magical well. And as far as I remember, the number might vary, but it's usually 7 hazelnuts of wisdom, of divine knowledge, and of inspiration. And the process looks like this. So the hazelnuts from the hazel trees are falling into the waters of the well, and then they're carried from the other world into our world. The husks of the nuts create bubbles of inspiration on the surface of the river, and the salmon are eating those nuts, and that's how they are becoming agents of this divine knowledge coming to us from the other world. And the salmon of knowledge comes to the waters of the River Boyne in Ireland every 7 years, according to the legend. And the poets are waiting for this moment on the brink of the water, and because the aim is to get in touch with the essence which is enclosed within the salmon, and through it obtain the divine inspiration, the poetic gift, the knowledge of the unknown, the knowledge of the other world. And in this way, the salmon serves as the gift of all those qualities, but also the agent of transformation, because in many other legends, you don't necessarily need to eat the fish. In one legend, actually, a young prince receives a cloak made of the salmon's skin, and then he gets enlightened. He becomes a king. He starts glowing. He starts shining. He is full of this divine knowledge and divine essence. And when I was thinking of the Pisces full moon, this legend came to my mind, and I was like, I need to say that Irish salmon of knowledge is in no way connected to the sign of Pisces. It's just me, my artistic license, exploring the archetypes. But when we think of this magical fish, the actual idea and the message of this legend, it is so much about fitting for the full moon in Pisces. Because when we come into the contact with the full moon in Pisces, with this magical salmon of knowledge, if you wish, we can get imbued with this spiritual, hidden, divine knowledge, with this gift of the gods, with this wisdom, with intuition, with poetic gift, with creative gifts, right? And this is what I would absolutely advise everyone to do under the influence of this full moon. And the second legend which came to my mind is actually the story of Jonas from the Bible, yeah? Jonas was a prophet, and God gave him a task to go to a certain region and to let people know what God has planned for them. And for whatever reason, Jonas was trying to escape his destiny because he sailed to a completely different territory. And when he was in the open sea, the storm started, the divinely inspired storm, and he was thrown from the ship, and the big fish, like we know it in the translation as a whale, it's actually not a whale. In Hebrew it is something just like great fish. The great fish has swallowed him. He was there for 3 days, after which he re-emerged fully transformed. And actually in medieval spiritual teachings, Jonas was a kind of prefiguration of Christ, which was in the darkness of death, in the darkness of his tomb, like Jonas was in the darkness of the stomach of the great fish for 3 days, and then he was reborn. He re-emerged fully transformed. So what does this story has to teach us? First of all, that escaping the God's plan for you is totally futile, because what is your destiny, it will find you, and there is probably some sort of comfort that we can find in it. And in case we are escaping our destiny and we don't know what our right path is, we are now given a chance to stay in the womb of this great fish, which is the moon, which is the full moon in Pisces, and spend those symbolic period of time, this 3 days and 3 nights, which is actually usually how much the full moon is here. It's 1 day before the full moon, and 1 day after, before it starts waning. So that's actually the energy cycle of the full moon. It's usually lasts for about 3 days. So yeah, this kind of, again, thinking of this turtle that goes inside of its shell. So all the signs that I'm kind of getting here, it's all about getting inside in some sort of like hidden, closed, secured, secluded, confined space, and staying with yourself and healing, and basically healing, and then re-emerging fully transformed to the world. Before we start our tarot reading, just a quick note about what this particular full moon is about, how it is all unfolding in the skies. So as I mentioned already, Sun is now at 10 degrees of Virgo, and Moon is at 10 degrees of Pisces. But there is another planet which actually is coming to help us. It is Uranus at 10 degrees of Taurus, which is trining the Virgo Sun and sextiling the Pisces Moon. And what is Uranus? Uranus is known as the Great Liberator. When you think of it, how all of those concepts, they interweave, they interact so closely in such a beautiful, absolutely perfect manner. And he's a great liberator. He's this electrifying, revolutionary energy. And the picture that came to my mind when I was thinking of it, I hope that many of you can relate to it. You remember this Disney movie of 1991, Beauty and the Beast, the animation movie. You remember in the final episode when Beast is being transformed, into the human again. If you remember how this is actually staged, that he's kind of dead, he's lying on the floor, and then those like rays of electricity, they start falling on him. It's like electric rain. And then what happens is that it enters his body, and this electric light is basically piercing all of him, and it goes through his head and through his toes and fingers. And while this electrifying light is passing through his fingers and toes and his body, he's transformed from the beast to the human. And when I was thinking, I mean, if you Google on YouTube Beauty and the Beast transformation, you'll get a ton of video about this, in case you're curious. But if not, I guess you're getting my idea that this full moon in Pisces, it is so much about healing and liberating, and then Uranus comes here to help us do it with its electrifying energy. It's like, you're absorbing all of it, and it goes through the whole body, through the whole soul, and you emerge transformed like Jonas from the body of the whale. So slowly but surely we're moving to our tarot reading. We have voted in a democratic way in the comments last time that people would prefer a sign-by-sign reading, which I absolutely would prefer as well. And I will draw 3 cards for each sign, and we'll see what's in store for all of you. And I'm using the Shadowscapes Tarot now, and because it's such a beautiful, such a dreamy deck, it has lots of those fantastic creatures and very poetic narratives in it, and I hope that it would be actually something very, very much inspiring us to heal over this moon, because like last time I offered a few questions to ask during the new moon in Leo, and let's do the same again. Let's make it a tradition. So the questions I think we can ask ourselves, first of all, about, do I trust my intuition? And do I trust my dreams? Do I trust my inner gut feeling? Do I trust the visions that I'm getting in my meditative states? Do I actually give myself a permission to have 5 minutes, I don't know, a day to be on my own in silence, to be to meditate, to read a beautiful poem, to do something which will bring more calmness and more spiritual dimension into my life. And at the same time, another question would be, am I not afraid to actually going there? Or am I afraid to going deeply down in spiritual sense and exploring all those dark corners and exploring this bottom where there is not a single ray of sunshine? And the last question we can look at is about Virgo, Pisces axis. It's about, have I been neglecting any part of my physical and mental health routine? And if the answer is yes, as I already said many times, it's actually such a good time to start making certain healthy and spiritual practices like yoga, for example, which is like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's about this and this as well. And if yoga is not appealing to you, I'm sure there are lots of other things and lots of other ways of bringing your body and mind into balance. Okay, so when I'm thinking of it, I think let's begin with Pisces. Let's begin with Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I personally find that probably those generic readings for sign by sign, they're probably more about your sun sign or your rising sign. So I will be pulling 3 cards for each sign. And let's see what this full moon is about for Pisces. Okay, so dear Pisces, for you the full moon is happening in your 1st house. That's your time to shine. The cards that you got, I'll show you. It's the Queen of Wands. It is the Page of Swords. And the 4 of Cups. And what this is telling me with like 2 court cards, first of all, this can mean some people in your life. With the Queen of Wands, it can be any fire sign, so it can be Sag, Leo, or Aries. And the Page of Swords, it can be any air sign, yes, or Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. So in case you have special people in your life with those 2 energies, maybe it is time to reconnect with them. Probably speaking of forgiveness and of making peace, maybe you have like people in your life with whom you would need to reconcile, because straight away we're getting like 2 court cards out of 3. So for you Pisces, because it's in the full moon is in your 1st house, so it's all about yourself and how you present yourself to the world. And it is also like, you know, as I said, activating the Pisces Virgo axis, and Virgo is your 7th house. It's your house of relationship, yeah? So it is very much time for you to reconcile with people around you and to make peace with your friends or your family. And if we don't take those cards as particular people, we can take them as energies. And what the Queen of Wands is about, it is all about the creative expression. So the medicine, I guess, for you for this full moon, it would be really to go deep into some creative process, or in case you're not creating, like, I mean, pretty much anything is creating. Cooking is creating as well. Yeah, I'm not inviting everyone to sit and write a poem or compose a musical piece, but it is about creating something, bringing something new to the world. And in this way, you're fully supported by the full moon in your first house. The Page of Swords. Pages are very youthful energy. It's about all about new beginnings and new plans and projects. But what is the suit of swords? It is the suit of intellect. It is the suit of air. So in case you're making some projects before Mars retrograde, don't bring them into the material plan of manifestation. You are very welcome to tap into your creativity and to explore the new ways. Like, you know, as I said, full moon is such a good time to declutter. So you free up the space, then your creative mind is coming in, and you can definitely decide what you would like to manifest in your life. But those plans, they should remain strictly on the intellectual level. Don't push them into life yet. Go inside of your turtle and think of how it might be performed, but don't do it yet. Just plan it on the mind level, on the level of thought forms. Write it down if you want, but don't go in any way trying to manifest it, because Mars retrograde will actually bring lots of obstacles on your way. And this is this is kind of like, how to say, repeated in the Four of Cups card for you guys, because Four of Cups, it is very usually the card of disappointment, of emotional disappointment, or of emotional burnout. But look at this particular card. It is basically Four of Cups. It is the baggage of emotions that you have. And what you can do is that there is a larger pool, that's all your emotions. You can basically release all those Four of Cups, all those particular emotions which has a vessel, which have material form, which you know what I'm talking about. You're invited to release them in the bigger pool of your subconscious, and to basically rest, to contemplate, to look at the things actually which are no longer serving you, to release and to prepare the space. So like, to sum it up, yeah, if we look at this, it is a big card of release. And in case you have some disappointments and some sort of spiritual, like not spiritual, like soul wounds, you know, something in the realm of emotions and feelings which you're disappointed with, just let it go and think that the pool of your emotions is actually so much bigger. It can contain it all, and all those anxieties, fears, all those bad things, they are just dissolved in the biggest mass of your emotional life without leaving a trace. It's all possible. So it is about decluttering and about releasing, but also it is about the tapping into your creative energy and making plans, but solely on the mental level, without thinking of how to actually realize them. Okay, we keep moving. The next one is Aries. Aries, the full moon is happening in your 12th house. The Mars retrograde is happening in your 1st house. Well, guys, you're in the spotlight. My Mars is in Aries in my natal chart, so I'm definitely riding the wave of Mars retrograde with you. And let's see what would be the advice for this full moon for Aries in the preparation for Mars retrograde. Oh, Okay, guys, Aries. Okay, the full moon is happening in 12th house. What is 12th house? 12th house is all about release, right? It is like, especially for you guys, before you start this Mars retrograde, right? You need to release all the things that are not there for you. The first card that we got, Four of Swords. Four of Swords, the card of deep rest, of deep mental rest. Put your mind at ease and just rest. It's definitely like, you know, you're getting this card every time when the universe is just telling you it's not time yet to move. Basically, stay inside. We are obviously getting very similar messages for all the signs because like there is a collective energy playing out for us. So Four of Swords is your first card, Aries. It's the card, yeah, of deep rest, of staying inside, of not going to the world. It is a card of isolation. It is sometimes represented by the card in which there is kind of like a tomb, a dead night in the tomb, like, you know. And what is tomb? Tomb is actually the stomach of the great fish. Tomb, it's the symbol of Jonas, you know. So just rest, meditation, and contemplation. That's pretty much what this card is about. Then you got the biggie. You got the Wheel of Fortune. So tables are changing for you guys. Your fortune your Wheel of Fortune is about to rotate, which is not big surprise. The Mars retrograde is happening in your first house. You will be affected, probably the most of us, together with other cardinal signs. And the wheel is turning for you. So the one big cycle of your life is coming to an end, and the new big cycle is about to begin. And the Four of Swords, that's why it is necessary, because of the end of the one cycle. We are not rushing things. We're not running around like a deer in spotlight. We're just sitting there and trying to understand what's going on, right? And the last card, again, pretty much same message when you think of it. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is the card of moving on. The traditional depiction of this card, it would be Eight of Cups, some of them empty, some of them still full on the first kind of like on the first part of the card, and then the figure with his back turned to us going up in the mountains. I believe this Mars retrograde would be a very good time for many Aries, especially when you think of it, that it offers you guys a time for ascent, like, you know. And this is what this card is about. In this one, actually, the movement is the opposite. She's leaving her hubs behind and she's going deeper down. But in any way, that's a card of letting go and moving on and starting a new stage of your life. And that's what I think you all should contemplate during this full moon in Pisces. Who's next? Next one is Taurus. Taurus, you are hosting now the Uranus. You are pretty much having an antidote in your own sign. The full moon is happening in your 11th house of relationships, of networks, of friends, and probably before actual Mars starts, because you have this Uranus. You must be now full of energy and full of this revolutionizing, electrifying energy of Uranus. It is time for you to probably really socialize and bring your gifts to the world, because well, the first card that you got is actually the moon. And as I talked at the beginning, the moon, well, that's the card of the full moon in Pisces, yeah. But for you guys, maybe because of the Uranus influence, yeah, you are invited probably more than the rest of us to actually like, you know, think of what needs to be changed and face all your fears, face all your anxieties and illusions. Oh boy, someone is cutting grass, sorry for that. And Taurus is a very much like grounded sign, yeah, so I don't think you have many, but in case you have something, you are now offered the gift of the full moon light to see the dark corners of your soul and to see what can be changed for your own benefit. And you are also, because like the Uranus is what is trining the Sun and Mercury in Virgo, you're getting the Nine of Pentacles. You're actually the ones that might see during this full moon all your plans actually being manifested, being brought into the reality, because Nine of Pentacles is the card of material, tangible manifestation of your plans and goals. And whatever those are, they promise to be truly victorious, because you got the Six of Wands. You're getting very fiery, very triumphant, very victorious energy playing out in your life. And again, all this for me is very much connected with all your how in which a beneficial way the Uranus is now aspecting both the Sun and the Moon. So you're in the spotlight, and yeah, and I hope that this will become true for you. So because it's the networking house in which this is all happening, maybe like you will see appearing in your life some sort of like material changes in your work networks or in the relationship with your friends, and whatever plans you would be seeing manifesting during this full moon, those would be truly victorious. So well, so fair play to you, Taurus. Well done, as always. Very much well done. And so who is next? Next one is Gemini. For you, Gemini people, the full moon is happening in the 10th house, yeah? In the 10th house of your ambitions, of your career goals, of your advancement into the world, of seeing what mark you would leave in this world after you. So what's in store for our Gemini people? You got lots of fire energy, guys. You start with the Strength card. So when we think of it, before Mars hit in retrograde with this full moon, it is probably time for you to consolidate everything that you've been working on. So because it's not time to start anything new at the full moon energy and the upcoming retrograde energy, but basically with the full energy and strength and knowledge and wisdom to consolidate what you've been working on. So make sure that everything regarding your work and regarding your life in general is in place, that it's all has really solid foundation, because we don't want Mars retrograde to ruin anything for you. So please, this full moon in Pisces, it's such a good time, I think, for you to basically think everything work related and double check everything, and you're getting the support of the fiery strength card here. And then we're getting Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is usually a card of kind of overlooking what have been achieved. So they're very much working together, those two cards. So if you can just, like this man, symbolically go on the top of the mountain and see the whole landscape of your life, and kind of like fix it all in the stage, kind of prepare it to enter the very much like this retrograde season, which is like an earthquake. So make sure everything is in place, all the business deals are finished, it's all settled down, and so that nothing new needs to be initiated during the Mars retrograde period. So for you guys, this full moon in Pisces is actually giving you the advice, yeah, to take care of all your business plans and all your goals, and just put them in separate files on the shelf in perfect arrangement, and just building this solid ground on which things will be building up, but without the need to initiate anything new during the retrograde period. The last card that you got is King of Cups. We're getting like lots of cups, obviously, in this full moon energy. What is King of Cups? Again, while you are doing your 10 house things and arranging and finalizing all the problems which might have occurred, the King of Cups is just showing us another side of things, that everything that we want to manifest, that we see manifested, all these originally appear within us, in our soul. And so take care of your emotional side as well. King, it is like, you know, the last court card, so it is about basically wrapping up whatever emotional upheavals you're having inside. And yeah, again, universal advice: do more meditations, spend some more time looking through your emotions. And the Strength card is basically here to support you and to show you the final destination of where you're going. Okay, so who is next after Gemini? Let me check. Cancer. Cancer. For you, so it is happening in your 9th house. Look, Cancer, Venus is now in you, right? So, excuse me. So Venus is now in your sign. Venus is actually trying to appease all this Mars energy and all this Saturn energy of restraint and of all the like troubling, very uncomfortable, very kind of really dodgy energy. And for you, it's happening in the 9th house. 9th house, it's very Aquarian house. Yeah, so it's all about expanding study, society, internet, high learning, and quest for your higher self. And what the full moon is here about to tell you is... Okay, Cancer. So no big surprise, your first card is Two of Cups. Two of Cups is the card of love. Yeah, it's a card of the relationship of two people being brought together. Like having Venus in your sign now, and having this very healing and very much relationship oriented full moon in Pisces. It is actually, I think, time for you to maybe stay in with your partner, you know, and or taking care of your relationship, taking care of your inner circle, of your partner, of your close friends, of your family, of your children. Being a Cancer, I'm sure you will excel at it, because that's what your sign is all about. But you're having this very loving and very supporting energy to begin with. Then, like, same as Gemini, guys. Like, I'm amazed how things are coming same, because like we are all same in the same whirlpool of energies. 9 of Wands. So again, like, you know, everything related to your project, especially to the projects which are related to studying, to traveling, to online business, it needs to be sorted. So you go, again, as I will repeat, same as I said for Gemini, you go on the top of your mental mountain, and as a general, the strategic leader, you look down at what you see at your feet, and you see which areas are thriving, which areas need to be fixed, and you make this mental plan for yourself. And it's not really time to put things into action yet. It is lots of responsibility on your shoulders, but nonetheless, this needs to be done. So basically, we are like making some sort of, like, you know, a list of things, of all areas of our life which we can supervise, but we don't initiate any action as yet, because it's really dangerous to do it in the Mars retrograde season. But we need to know the kind of like what is our point zero, where we are all starting. So again, universal advice: go look through it all together, like go like see what's going on in your life on a macro level, and make some sort of like mental notes to yourselves, what you're happy with, what you're unhappy with, and yeah, make some sort of like this big arrangement. And your last card is King of Pentacles, very much Virgo energy, right? So again, very earthly energy. So in case you're also water sign, like, you know, so the full moon, I suppose, what is it sextiling you, is it trining you? But anyway, it's in a beneficial aspect to you. And as I said, the full moon in Pisces, together with lots of brilliant and fantastic things, it can bring us illusions and fears and all this like watery subconscious mind. So the antidote for it is the King of Pentacles energy. Here it is, like, you know, here it is what? It's the kind of god of nature. It's the person who is inside of the tree, which is very deeply rooted. So think about your roots, like, you know, if you, as a Cancer, if you feel that your family is important to you, that's gonna be your kind of calm haven, your bay, like, you know, to rest your ships during the upheavals of 2020. Feel rooted, try to connect with your probably ancestral energy if you are into it, into some rituals, like, you know, which are related to ancestors, to your family tree. This is something to think of, like, you know, under this full moon influence. But anyway, if you feel a little bit ungrounded and overly sensitive and thinking that all these illusions and water energy is too overwhelming, stay rooted, know where you're coming from, and tap into the Virgo energy to help you, like, to feel more grounded. Next after Cancer is Leo, right? Am I correct? Yeah. So for you, Leo, it's happening in the 8th house. In the 8th house of transformation, in the most occult mystical house, also in the house of money, yeah, but I kind of prefer always to think more about transformations and all those things. So look, Leo, you just had a beautiful new moon in your first house, and let's see what this full moon is about for you. Yeah, you again got like lots of water energy and lots of earth energy. So your first card is Page of Cups. It is like, you know, for me, it is a very Leo card. I will explain now why. It's because there is a mermaid and she's sitting at the very bottom of the ocean. Yeah, she's sitting at the very bottom of her emotions. And Page is like, you know, it's the youthful energy, the card of new beginnings. So she is deeply contemplating her emotional world. And what she's having is that she's having some bowl which is full of some gold substance, which is full of light, probably, that she brought from the surface before she was diving deep. So it's pretty much all of us, Leo, like, you know, the full moon in Pisces is all about emotions. It's about healing what needs to be healed in our emotional life. And you have always this source of light within you as a Leo, you know. You have brought from the surface, from the mental state, from the state of clear thought forms, this ball full of sunlight, which basically enlightens your way and enlightens your face while you're sitting in the darkness of the bottom of the ocean of your emotions. So you have it within you. Tap into your natural, this this bon vivant energy, like, you know, this very much love-loving, life-loving, and very leonine, this sunny, glowing energy that you always have with you. This will help you to understand better your emotions and to probably set up like new resolutions in emotional states, because I keep talking about this Mars retrograde, yeah, and that things do not need to be initiated, but not the emotional things, like our emotional process. There is no danger in exploring what's inside of us, basically on a daily level, you know. So this is again very much about like contemplation and meditation, because, well, the full moon Pisces, that's her universal advice to us. But also this full moon might bring you, like, you know, some harvest from the intentions and plans that you put into action, whatever, like, you know, maybe during the new moon in Leo 2 weeks ago, maybe in some more distant past. Here is the girl and she's collecting the harvest, 7 of Pentacles, yeah, so something material. I think that this moon might well bring you like the tangible results of your plans. But also look, like, you know, the peaches that she's collecting, they're so much full of light. So those might be also like some sort of spiritual gifts that the new moon in Pisces has in store for you. And the last card that you got is actually the 10 of Pentacles, and those two are playing well together, because the journey that you're having is that you have been contemplating at the bottom of the ocean with this bottom full of your inner light, and when you understand yourself better, that's when the harvest starts, and you can probably see the visible results of your intentions. and then the pentacle, the manifestation cycle is complete for you guys, like, you know. So you get the energy of the 10 of Pentacles, very earthly energy. I think many Leos would appreciate it. You are getting here the sun, actually, which is supporting you always because it's your star. You are getting the woman who is kind of like taming the dragon. She's friends with the dragon, very dangerous energy, which actually very much reminds me of how the strength card is portrayed, yeah, when the woman is actually taming the lion. So guys, just, yeah, just be yourself, and you know what, whatever upheavals 2020 brings you, you are fully equipped in forgetting, like, you know, the full harvest, and for completing the cycle in the way which would be basically very beneficial for you. But all those intentions, they should spring from the deep knowledge of yourself. So explore yourself better, like, you know, your own emotions and what you truly want, what your soul desires, and then I think you would see the tangible results. Like, you're in very good position of seeing something, like, you know, what is it, you're getting it in the 8th house of transformation and money, yeah. So you can well receive like some money, and what, like, it's September, so for people who are involved in like, you know, in studying or in teaching and all of the sort of things, you are now starting a new cycle. If you are involved in this, best of luck, because with this COVID all the teaching went online, so it requires lots of your force, but whatever is required, you know, Leo, you can do it. Well, who is next? Next is Virgo. For you Virgo people, happening in the 7th house. Virgo is my rising sign. So let's see Virgo family, what's in store for us. What are we offered to do during this full moon in Pisces? Or Virgos is always, yeah. Virgo, you won't be surprised. Okay, the first thing that we're getting is 8 of Swords, yeah. So it's happening in your 7th house. What is 8 of Swords? 8 of Swords is actually this card of looking through the dim glass, yeah. It is the card of anxieties, you know. It is a card of feeling trapped and being like surrounded by obstacles and not seeing the source of how to get out. There is this kind of figure which is like, you know, he's like some dark spirit, dark demon flying over you, and how to say, and yeah, basically not allowing you to see things clearly. And if this was the case, remember that there is always a light. What's the trick with this card is that we think that we're trapped, but actually the swords, they are put into the ground around us very kind of sparingly. So there is enough space for us to escape. And I think that in case you are feeling this way, this spot of light represents for me the full moon in Pisces. It's in your house of relationships and friends, yeah? So it is probably time to get this source of consolation from your friends, from your partners, from people around you, you know, or probably even from your business partners, in case, like, you know, something truly fascinating is unfolding for you in that area. So don't be afraid. This card very much like about Pisces lower manifestation, about all those anxieties and fears, low self-confidence and feeling trapped, not knowing where to go, uncertainties. But there is a way out, and this way out is actually for us in the Empress card, which you also got, right? So Empress is Venus, and I think that Virgo is now having Mercury, if I'm not mistaken, Mercury and Sun, which is sextiling Venus. So what is it? It is this clarity of mind, which manifested by Mercury, and which is this deeply female way of knowing things, when it's not rational mind, but it is knowing deep down, yeah, that things are what they are. So Virgo is the sign of a maiden, yeah, and Empress is also, she's more of a mother, but still it is the female archetype. So dear Virgos, just probably as a remedy for your frustration, what you can get is to reconnect in a very female, nourishing, serving way, which is very much Virgos, with your family and friends and partners. Do probably something romantic with your partner, you know. This full moon in Pisces, brilliant. It's all about emotions. It's about like fruition and culmination and peak of our emotions. Maybe it's time to have like, you know, some sort of date, some sort of just relax, you know. Virgos, they're always about so much responsibility, but maybe it's just time to let go, to remember that, come on, like, you know, if you are a Virgo man, it's by no means I'm meaning to diminish you, but you know, we all have female energy in us, and it is a slower energy, it is a more passive energy, it is the energy of the observer and not a person who's doing the action. So look like, you know, that's something to tap into. And to wrap it up, we're getting the Devil card. The Devil is Capricorn. It is your fellow or sign which is going through the pressure cooker, like, you know, for the past 3 years. I'm a Capricorn sun. I know what I'm talking about. So this is very much the Capricorn energy, the Saturn energy. You might feel restrained. I'm trying to think of it now. Is it... no, I mean, my mental map is failing me here, but definitely in your 7th house there is a Neptune, yeah? There is a Neptune, and at the same time in your fellow Earth sign there is all this Saturn and Pluto and all this like drama and restraint and dark thoughts and panic attacks and all those things. So tap more into Pisces, because like the Devil card, it is about being trapped into like, you know, those fears and in the situation, but at the same time it is about release, and the Neptune in Pisces is actually offering you release. So go to more to kind of more dreamy states, go to more like, you know, to this inner sanctum of yourself, in this calm places deep down your soul, and that's where you will find kind of, I think, consolation, in case you are feeling strongly the Saturn energy and the whole lot of like things and restraints and all those restrictions which are upon you. So look, Virgo, for me now, so far, compared to the other signs which we've done so far, you got like 2 major arcana. So for you, this moon is playing really strong. Well, that's not a big surprise for me, because like you are, yeah, the sun is in Virgo now, so you're a big player in this full moon. But look, in case all the thought of like bad emotions and feelings are upon you during this full moon, think of the Empress card, yeah. Think of this deeply feminine, deeply loving, very fertile, very calm card, and yeah, and just reconnect with your inner circle of friends and family and your partner, and just don't let the worst of the Saturn get you there. Okay, the next one is Libra. For you, it's happening in the 6th house, in the 6th house of service and health. Okay, let us see what is for Libras in this full moon. Yeah, okay, guys, not probably an easiest one. 6th house is not an easy house in astrology, you know that, yeah. It's a house of, it's not only a house of health and service, it's also the house of victimhood, of our, like, you know, those anxieties connected to burnout, to all this like being good to others, and kind of like of all this mask that we are wearing to represent ourselves into the physical world. And the first card that you got is 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords is a card of conflict. It's a card about standing your ground. So in case there are conflicts, and in case, like, you know, not necessarily conflicts with people, because 6th sign, although it might be, because it is about service to others, and it is a kind of house of Virgo, it is about society in a way, yeah. In case this is happening, or in case you're having like inner troubles, you are very balanced, right? Your sign, it is a balance, and you know very well how to stay your ground. Just be assertive, be affirmative. In case something like difficult happens to you over this full moon, just know what you mean, what you desire. Just, yeah, stand your ground, guys. And we're also getting the Page of Pentacles here. We are getting the Page of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. And what this is telling me is that you might be really emotional over this moon. Maybe you might have, I hope not, some sort of like troubles in health or in like, you know, in mental health. But this absolutely not to worry about, because like such things happen and certain energies might be difficult. Although I think that you are very balanced and peaceful and gracious sign, and you don't need to be afraid of this. You know how to cope with it. So like stand your ground. And I think for you it is actually foreshadowing the Mars retrograde. Start maybe really healing the past wounds already, in case like, you know, something comes to your mind which needs fixing and mending. Please go ahead and start exploring it. And you're getting the Page of Pentacles to help you there. Very, again, like very much like earthly energies to keep your ground. So you know, Libra is an air sign. You got two air cards and two very troubled cards. Yeah, so one is kind of about being all ready for the battle, one is about mending your heart. But then you're getting the Page of Pentacles, which is a very grounded card and a very youthful and a very joyful card. Like, you know, it is when you would just basically, how you say, if you think that your soul is a field, you will just remove all those bad seeds from it and plant something new and wait for the harvest to start. And you're getting the support of this earth energy during this full moon in Pisces. I very much love this card. Look, he has like a small source of light. Like, you know, look how hopeful this card is. So lots of work, Libra, lots of work. Standing your ground, mending your health, bodily and spiritual. But then going to this kind of like, you know, stage again of probably thinking of what you'd like to achieve and to manifest. And like when you forget about those wounds, what would be the life that you actually want for yourself? Think about this. And yeah, and ask this energy of the Page of Pentacles to actually, oops, oh sorry, my card has fallen, sorry for that. Yeah, so yeah, so I guess like stay more grounded, you know, stay more grounded in guess like all those volatile, anxious, sword energies are getting the best of you. Now, who's next? Who's next? I think it's Scorpio. Yeah, it's Scorpio. Scorpio, it's what? It's 5th house, right? Let me check. Oh, yeah. The 5th house, Scorpio. For Scorpio, you're also water sign, the very watery Pisces energy. It is all going deep down as a turtle, all this shadow work. It must probably hit the home for you, because like that's all very Scorpio energy as it is. What's happening in the 5th house of romance, children, of your creative expression. So let us see. Oh, nice. Lots of cards are popping up, same. I don't know what's going on. How this is possible? I'm shuffling. Okay, Scorpio, the first card that you got is King of Cups. That's you, right? It's some it can be a person of water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, but it is, again, as I already said, it is your fellow water sign. You guys, you're all about shadow work. In the classical astrology, you Scorpios are all about going deep down, like, you know, working with your alter ego, with your shadows. It's all this kind of shamanic transformation. Keep doing this, keep doing this if you're doing it. If not, you're very welcome to start. You will be good at it, because this is something that your scorpionic nature is naturally inclined to. Yeah, very, very watery energy, but watery not in the kind of way as the Queen of Cups will be, for example, not in this very intuitive, irrational, but in the manly way, that kind of knowing how to work with your emotions, how to control your emotions, how to explore your emotions, and working deeply with this. And you're getting an amazing card. You got the Magician card. The Magician card is about what? It's about having all the elements within you, realizing your full potential. Very strong moon for you, Scorpios, I feel, because because it is all about like this karmic release, karmic letting go, working with your fears, working with your emotions, and all those processes. They're deeply scorpionic and plutonic in nature. So you're getting the Magician. You have all of it, yeah. So usually the Magician, he has all the 4 elements on his card, like he has pentacles and cups and swords and wands. So as a magician, you are fully in the position to transform your life, to work with your emotions, and then have this trust in your own goal. I feel like it's gonna be really brilliant for you. And the Magician card is also working here with the 9 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Pentacles, yeah, 9 of Pentacles is about thriving in the material world. So I guess for you guys, this full moon, it's like as for many of us, yeah, it is about going deep down and transforming it with this magical Pisces energy, trusting that you're a magician. And probably then, when we are hitting the full moon in Aries in October, that's where you can see the results of this deep cleansing and of this deep transformation. So in case you decide to do some shadow work or some sort of transformative healing practices, this will bring you tangible results in the foreseen future. And because it is in your 5th house of romance and of the creative expression, I'm kind of more thinking here probably about like creative expression, or exactly like sort of how we can be there better for our partner, yeah. So this is something to think of, to probably think with this water emotional energy of what new and transformative you can bring to your relationship, what new and transformative you can bring to the way how you express and show yourself to the world. And I think that in case you decide to do that, this will come this will come to a full circle with the 9 of Pentacles, and you will see the tangible results very quickly. It's actually frankly speaking, it's a very good advice for all of us, because it's always good to think how we are with our partners, how we can shake the things up so they are not like this steady water which is not shaken and in which like mold starts growing. No, how to shake it, how to bring it into movement, how to transform it. That's all magician. He comes with his magical wand, he puts it into this stale kind of like water, this not moving water, and he moves it, he creates a ripple, he creates water pools. And we are more interested in our relationship, we are more interested in our partnerships, but also we get this inspiration, we get this boost of how to proceed and show ourselves to the world. Okay, who is next? I suppose it is Sag. For you, Sag, it's what? It is your 4th house. It's your 4th house of family. It's okay, those two came together, we'll respect that. It's the house of your family, of your house, the house of your house. Yeah, I know. Those two came together. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, wow. Very strong card, very strong energy for you, Sagittarius, as well. So those two came together. Okay. You're getting both of them. You're also getting, like, who was it? Someone already got the Four of Swords. The card of rest, the card of meditation, the card of isolation. We're all getting same messages. I keep repeating it, but I'm sorry, this is true. There are 78 cards, I'm shuffling them, and still same cards keep popping up. Yeah. Especially because it's your house of of your home, yeah, would be better to say. So just, yeah, rest at home and meditate. It's not only about the home as a physical object, it is like, you know, home which is within you. Your soul is your home, you know. Some people believe that soul is not inside of us, but soul is outside. So basically soul is like a massive bubble holding our body, and this is your home, and your body is actually your home. Body is your temple, yeah. So yeah, so this is the card about resting and healing, and taking care of your body and taking care of your soul. Watch my introduction in case you didn't watch it before, because I'm talking a lot about healing and how this Pisces and Virgo energy is inviting us to sit still and cleanse and let go and release and heal. And you also got the Queen of Pentacles conjunct with this card. It came together. Queen of Pentacles in this card is very spiritual and mysterious lady. She might be Virgo, Pisces, or excuse me, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. So in case there is someone of the earth sign who would help you probably to achieve this state. How about that? Or someone you can isolate yourself with in a pleasant and productive and nice way. But also look at the iconography of this card. They are kind of like very much speaking about the same, all those like lengthy figures. She's very much rooted. She's very much rooted in her, if you wish, maybe in your home, in your, like, you know, in your house. She's staying inside of her shell, but also she's transforming inside of it. So, like, you know, what is it? There is this Buddhist kind of wisdom, the proverb, which says, sometimes simply by sitting, the soul collects wisdom. And this is what it is about. It's about staying still under this full moon influence and just collecting it. And staying still to the point of death. We got the death card. Wow, guys. This death card in this deck is extremely positive, because here it's the Phoenix, yeah? And you, Sag, you are like, you're a fiery energy, right? So you are this spark of fire which is carried in the wind, and here you get in this massive explosion. Very transformative moon for you. And in case there is something you would like to mend and to transform and to bring through death and rebirth through this phoenix kind of symbolism in your house, in your home life, and the relationship with your family, some things probably need to be fully released. We were talking a lot in the introduction about the release. It is time to release and to clean and declutter. For you, actually, it might be a good time to absolutely make this massive cleaning of your house, to throw away all the old things and, I don't know, make it totally new, like renovation, change the furniture, the place of the furniture in the room. So you can bring your house through death and rebirth, and then create a more suitable environment for yourself. Or you can bring your relationship with your household to death and rebirth, and in this way achieve the world. You also got two major arcana, death and the world. What a beautiful combination. So that after some things they were allowed to die, then you get the last card of the major arcana, you get like the world. So the cycle comes to completion, and you're getting here actually the full moon. And look what she's holding. She's holding some massive like ball which is mirroring this full moon, and everything is so green and so beautiful in the starry night, and there are birds singing. I feel like lots of harmony. So in case you sit down and you see what needs changing, you sit still, and then you bring the necessary change into life, the death and rebirth, then you will feel so much the spicy and deep harmony within you. This is going to be amazing. I'm sure this is going to be absolutely glorious for you guys. Oh, next, Capricorn. Capricorn, still having, oh, now the Mars is square our Saturn, guys. Capricorn family, still not a moment of peace with this 2020 and 2019 and 2018 and 2017 and all those years, and still we are permanently in the state of the Death card and Tower card. Lots of changes for Capricorn. Not an easy aspect with the upcoming Mars retrograde square to our Saturn. So yeah, let's see what's the advice for this full moon. Okay, Capricorns, my darlings, not amazed with our reading. Well, we came to our own reading, yeah? So Capricorn, you came to your own reading. Capricorn entire is a devil card. So, what can I say? Well, you know what I'm talking about, yeah? With all the restraint of Saturn and Pluto, with all the deep transformative work, with all the restrictions, with all the things like, you know, being so tough, so tough. And now with this Mars, which is also squaring Saturn, this is truly a diabolic energy to go through. Some of us might feel trapped. Some of you guys might feel basically absolutely burnt out, not having energy, very low, like very low energy. This is all like those diabolic things. Look, he has a heart here in some sort of like cobweb. That's how your heart might feel. I mean, like, yeah, Capricorns, you get everything from this card. I don't think I don't need to explain what this card means, right? And it is really tough on Capricorns with all the stellium in Capricorn. But look, Devil is the card of Capricorn. So Capricorn is, how to say, is kind of, unlike any other sign, Capricorn has all the tools to deal with this energy. Because what I think it's meant is that Capricorn has the strength to actually hold all this infernal, hellish energy. Capricorns as devils, because the card is the devil, I'm not meaning we're devils, but you see what I mean, because it's the archetype of devil, Capricorn. They are devil. Who is devil? Devil is the master of hell. All the demons are under his control. The powers of hell is under his control. Those extremely difficult energies from Saturn and Pluto, they are under his control. There is lots of hope, actually. It's difficult to be Capricorn, but at the same time, Capricorn, probably better than any other signs, knows how to deal with dark energies and how to kind of protect the stronghold of your own life from those energies. And we are also Capricorn family getting Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords, like, you know, it is usually a very, very sad card. It is like, you know, with this person waking up in the middle of the night crying, like, you know, how to say, I don't exclude the possibility that lots of Capricorns living under this massive energetical pressure for the past good few years are in deep state of anxiety and insomnia and basically being permanently overwhelmed. But this card actually is a bit different. Although there are like Nine of Swords, like it's tattooed and carved in his chest. So all those transformations, they were not traceless. They left very deep imprint in our souls. But now there is actually this kind of, I think it is a very Piscean moon, because, like, you know, there is this whirlpool and then there is the full moon, and it is time to basically not look into the depth of hell anymore, but to lift your gaze and look at this full moon. It is all surrounded by clouds, but nonetheless there is like a tunnel to the light. So all those wounds and all those Nine of Swords which pierced poor Capricorns, have been piercing for the past like 3-4 years, they actually offer a road to ascension, you know. And Pisces is a very deeply healing energy. And so in case you are feeling absolutely at loss, go gaze at the full moon and ask the full moon to heal you, and get some comfort from looking at the full moon in her very, like, you know, tender, gentle, this glowing light. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. That's what it is for us. And the last card Caps are getting, also after getting like 2 major kind of cards, is the Hierophant. Hierophant is Taurus, yeah. Hierophant is a very Capricornish card though, because it's all about the convention, about tradition, about institutions, about everything is done in the rightful manner as it has been done for thousands of years before, very old-fashioned nature. But in this particular deck, it is some spirit of the forest, yeah, again, like with your Capricorn energy, very deeply rooted, very much in down to earth, which again helps us to withhold like this pressure of hell which is coming upon Capricorns. But I take this card here as a remedy. It's probably as a remedy to tap deeper into, I don't know, if you feel more comfortable being part of some traditional bigger group or institution, for example, church or something, this might be a good remedy for you, or some sort of like support group or group of your friends. Or in case you can find advice from the traditional writings, yeah, if you start reading, I don't know, Indian spiritual writings, or the Bible or the Quran, or like, you know, the teachings of Buddha, you know, maybe in this very ancient, very like, you know, old-fashioned wisdom that you can find your light. And Pisces is very much like sign of philosopher, of truth seeker, so maybe this is something to find the remedy. And if not, it is just basically in remembering who you are. And you know, he's having here the staff, there is lots of light, he's very much connected to lots of little creatures. Maybe to basically breathe out, it's time to go to nature and just reconnect with nature, and kind of open your heart to all those little creatures of the universe, for them to come inside of you and heal you. And we're almost there. Our last sign, last but not least, Aquarius. Yeah, for you, Aquarius, the full moon is happening in your second house. While I was doing Capricorn, I totally neglected it. So for you guys, for Capricorn, it's happening in the third house of communication, yeah? So now thinking of it, like, you know, with Hierophant, it might be a sign like to communicate, to reach out, you know, being in so much pain with the devil and with this Nine of Swords. Then there is a very warm card of this Hierophant, and the full moon is in your third house of communications. Maybe it is time to reach out, or because it is about the throat chakra, maybe even it's about writing a diary. Maybe it is about communicating how you feel in a medium through words, you know, through writing a journal or writing poetry, or I don't know, whatever appeals to you. Now, Aquarius. For you, Aquarius, happening in your second house, of self-value and money. Oh God, how is this possible? Huh? Okay, we got Five of Swords, we got the High Priestess and the Devil. Look, like the Devil, I think came for this. I think it came like 3 or 4 times over this reading. Well, you know what, before Mars retrograde in square to Saturn, I'm not surprised that this Devil, it's a very Saturnian, very limiting energy, yeah? So it is a popular one. Five of Swords is also a popular one. So look, the full moon is happening, dear Aquarius, in your second house of self-value and money. In case you're having some conflicts related to those areas, in case, like, you know, there are some troubles at work or something like this, the full moon in Pisces is here for you, to have your back and to just give you advice to stand your ground. And you have it all. You can beat whatever difficulties are coming up your way. And how you can do it is by tapping into the High Priestess energy. And High Priestess energy is actually the moon. The tarot card of High Priestess, it is about the moon. And we were getting lots of cups over all those readings. And what we had, there is deeply, like, we had a magician for some people. We have now the High Priestess, which is the counterpart of the magician. this moon is deeply transformative. As I said, it is collectively happening for us in the last zodiac sign. We are like all going through the full moon, the release in our 12th house collectively. And you, Aquarius, is given actually a very good chance to kind of reconnect with this high priestess energy. No one else got this courage, so for you, probably like for no one else, it might be a very good time to do some rituals, actually, like, you know, to connect to moon magic, to mysticism. And in case this full moon is has something to release in terms of self-value or in terms of money. So for example, think of your business projects, of your money income, what is not serving you, release it, let go. But in terms of self-worth, in case there are any doubts, in case, like, you know, you have a habit of, like, you know, not trusting your feelings, something related to, like, you know, your self-value, it is a very good time to practice some ritual and ask the full moon to help you to release this, to clean up the space. Like for you, it's going to be a deeply mystical moon, so please go for it. The last card that you got is the Devil. Guess why? Any guesses? The whole stellium in Capricorn, that's your 12th house. That's your house of karmic release. That's your, and all those guys, very, very soon, they will move to your house. You need to prepare yourself. You need to prepare that, like, okay, Pluto will stay in Capricorn for another, like, millennium, you know. Pluto is a very slow planet. I think he stays in one sign something like 30 years or something, like, you know, 15 years, 20, lots of time. But Saturn is moving into your house very, very soon in December. This restrictive, trapping energy of Saturn, very strict, very devilish energy, it's moving into your house. You need to get prepared, and this full moon for you, it's a good time to start preparing for it, because we are going collectively through the 12th house, and currently all this energy of karmic release of this Pluto, working with Pluto, working with Saturn, working with Jupiter, which is very much debilitated in Capricorn, and working through all this for you, it is you're the sign which is supposed to do the release during this full moon. And that's why I guess you're getting the support of the High Priestess to help you tap into your deep, very Piscean, very moon related, very like archetypically speaking, feminine energy of this going deep down inside. Perform probably some rituals and transform your self-value so that you know that you are like the high priest or high priestess, so that you're ready for the Saturn which is moving into your first house. Okay, I hope this is it. I don't think I have forgotten anyone. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Was it useful? As I said, we all got oh sorry, my card has fallen. We all got lots of cards which were same for marine signs, because we're going through a collective process of this transformation and release. Next episode of my Moon Tarot Talk would be about the full moon in Virgo, so we'll discuss a bit more on the Virgo element of this Virgo Pisces axis. And yeah, I can, like, okay, I just shuffled and I want to put the cards back to the box, but like at the bottom, collectively, we all got Queen of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Queen of Cups, it's our general energy. It is all about going deep, diving deep into emotions, healing, releasing, seeking the truth, uncovering the veils, and dissolving all the anxieties and fears that we have into just letting it go, dissolving it all in the water, in the watery full moon in Pisces, so that, you know, you go naked into the sea, you dip yourself and kind of just feel how all those negative feelings, emotions, whatever you have accumulated since the beginning of the full moon cycle in October 2019, how it's all dissolving. The full moon is shining in the sky upon this. It creates this beautiful moonlit kind of river, moonlit path in the ocean, so that you can just keep going and flowing and seeing how it's gonna be. Before I wrap it up, I wanted to recommend a few crystals. As always, we will do a close-up at the end of this video. The first one, I picked up the Ocean Jasper. very tender stone. It has some sort of like daisies here, the imprint of daisies. Ocean jasper is about the calm, the still ocean. It's about calming the upheavals, calming the emotions. Let us all ask the full moon in Pisces to help us calm down and get ready for the Mars retrograde and probably heal the wounds that 2020 already brought up upon us. And then we're getting the beautiful aquamarine, watery, lovely stone, like, you know, which is like a petrified wave of the sea. And we are asking to dissolve all our fears and anxieties in the beautiful, calming, protective energy of this stone. And then I picked up the gray moonstone, to help us, like, you know, you can even like see the moonlight in the stone and the kind of shadows and all those hidden things within this semi-transparent stone, to help us tap into the mystic, mysterious, hidden energies, to go deeply into this mysticism. I very much respect like medieval mysticism in general. It is this deep contemplation of the love of God and taking it all to yourself, like, you know, and interpreting the wisdom that we're getting from the ancient scriptures in this kind of like mystic way. So not reading the lines. That's not how ancient scriptures were written. They were written in a metaphorical way. We need to interpret the symbols left to us. And our lives are no different from all the scriptures. Our lives are narratives, right? And so we can even interpret the patterns of our life in this deep mystic way and see, like, you know, how it is all interconnected in our lives. And to help us do so, the last stone I picked up, the angel aura quartz, to help us open our crown chakra and to connect with the heavenly realms and with the angels and with those like divine energy of the high spirit and the source and the higher self, so that we can very successfully go through this full moon in Pisces, which would be a very blessed moon. And I hope that we guys all will do lots of hard work in healing, in decluttering, in letting go, releasing, cleansing, before a very difficult Mars retrograde period starts. I would probably do a special next week with the collective reading for the Mars retrograde season. And also, as I said, in case you would like a reading with me, we are now doing a sale on my reading. It's $8 about €50 for 45-minute pre-recorded video. In case this is something useful, I'd be happy to connect with you and to help. And if not, I will see you in a week time with my special Mars retrograde report. And I'm sending you so much love, and I'm sending you lots of good luck. Yeah, lots of good luck in exploring the full moon in Pisces. Love you guys. Bye.